Welcome to IELTS Accomplish. I am Kanchan. In one of my previous videos, I told you about the importance of proofreading in your IELTS writing task 2. So proofreading basically means going through your work once again after you finish writing and spot some careless mistakes if you have done any before you submit your answer sheet to the examiner. So in this video, I am going to talking to you about one especially common grammatical mistake that students often do in their writing. While writing, they don't realize, but that can be easily spotted while proofreading, and that can make a really big difference in your IELTS score. So let's get started. So in this video, we will learn about subject-verb agreement. It means the subject and verb must agree with each other in number. If the subject is singular, the verb should be singular, and if the subject is plural, the verb must be plural. For example, Nidhi. This is the subject of this sentence. This is singular, so it will take a singular verb takes. Nidhi takes online classes, and if the subject is plural, students, which is a plural subject, it will take the verb take. So Nidhi, any singular thing, any singular noun will take takes, and any plural subject will take the verb take. Likewise, our teacher, now look at the verb. In the previous sentence, the verb was the action verb takes, whereas in this sentence, the verb is auxiliary verb is MR. So our teacher is a singular subject, so the auxiliary verb will remain is. Likewise, Nidhi and Somya, that's a compound noun. Nidhi and Somya, that's a compound noun. So this is a plural noun, compound noun or plural noun. So likewise, the auxiliary verb are will be taken. One more example, and in this example I have taken a possession verb, has, have, had. So basically we have three types of verb: action verbs, auxiliary verb and possession verb. Here also the subject is singular, it's a pronoun. So it doesn't matter whether the subject is noun or a pronoun. What matters is whether the subject is singular or plural, regardless of whether it's a noun or pronoun. If it's singular, he, which is a singular pronoun, it will take singular verb, which is as. And if the plural, if the noun is or pronoun is plural, they, so the verb will be plural, which is have. This looks very simple, but if you study this in detail, subject-verb agreement, it's not as simple as it sounds to be. So let's study this more in detail. So when the subject is very simple, like a simple pronoun like they, he, you, it, or a simple noun like someone's name like teacher or student, it's very easy to understand that the subject is singular or plural, and accordingly we can choose the verb. But let's study now how sometimes subjects can be tricky. The first thing where students can face problem is when it's a noun phrase. So as you could see that the subject here is not as simple as a one word, but it's a noun phrase. Bad conduct of children. Now, children is immediately followed by the verb. So it's very common for students to find that children is the subject, which is plural. So what they do is that they use prevail, which is incorrect, because here this verb prevail actually belongs to the bad conduct and not children, which is a singular noun. So in this kind of noun phrase, sometimes it becomes very tricky to realize that what is the subject. So I suggest that whenever you make some complex noun phrases, please always observe that what is the actual subject to which this verb refers to. Going further, indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns like everyone, each one, someone, somebody, no one, nobody, anyone, anybody. So these are called indefinite pronouns. So they look like a plural pronoun, but they are considered singular. So when you say everybody, although it includes everybody, but it is considered singular, so everybody is living in some time and not everybody are living. Likewise, somebody has to. So both these nouns, and not just these pronouns, but all these pronouns I mentioned are considered singular, and thus the verb it will take is singular. Another thing, in my previous example, I told you when and is used to join two subjects and make a compound noun, it becomes a plural noun. Whereas any other connector other than and, be it along with, together with, as well as, and there could be any such like besides, to some more such words connectors can be there apart from and, when they are used to combine two subjects. So the verb will agree with the subject mentioned at the first place. Now we have to see whether this is singular or plural. So in this sentence, teacher along with students. It's not considered plural because this teacher is singular. So this verb has to agree with the first mentioned noun and not this students, and not combining these two. So any such connector which is used to join two subjects, we would consider the first subject. Another point number 4. When the words in the subject are connected with correlative conjunction such as neither nor, either or, not only but also. In this situation, the subject which is closest to the verb, for example in this sentence, either the farmers or the investor. Although this is a complete subject which has two nouns, farmers or the investor, but joined with the help of correlative conjunction either or. So in this situation, when two nouns are joined with any correlative conjunction, so the noun which is closest to the verb will be considered, will decide whether the verb should be singular or plural. Now you could see that in this sentence or in this phrase, this word investor is singular, although farmers is plural, but this verb will be dependent on the noun which is closest to the verb. Likewise, in this phrase, neither the investor nor the farmers. This is connected with neither and nor. Now this investor is singular, but farmers is plural. So this verb have would be decided on the basis of the noun which is closest to this. Similarly, if a sentence is made with not only but also, like not only the investor but also the farmer also. Again, if his farmers is plural, it will be have. Another point number 5. When gerunds are used as the subject of the sentence, it takes always the singular form. Gerunds basically are the nouns that are made up from verbs. So sometimes our nouns are basically made up from verbs like reading. Read is a verb, but reading is a noun, like reading book. When you say reading book, so here also the scope of mistake is this verb, since it is immediately followed by books, which is plural. So sometimes students, they think that books is a plural, so they might write reading books are, wherein this reading is what actually will decide what the verb should be, and gerund are always considered singular noun. So whenever you are using gerund nouns like reading books or swimming in the water, so swimming is also a gerund noun. Any such noun which is made up from verb is called gerund noun, and they always take singular verb. So reading books is a great way to acquire vocabulary. Point number 6, uncountable nouns. So uncountable nouns are always considered singular. Uncountable nouns are the nouns that cannot be pluralized. For example, the furniture. So we never say furnitures, or we don't say luggages. For example, advises. We never say advises. Advise is also an uncountable noun. So any uncountable noun also take singular verb. So furniture, looks, and luggage, has. Fine. So I hope you found this video informative and resourceful. Very shortly I will be posting some more videos related to common mistake in IELTS writing. So kindly subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you can get regular updates for this. Till then, take care.